Before you begin wiring circuits, you should first check the wiring settings. You can access the wiring settings in the Electrical Settings dialog. You can access the electrical settings by clicking the dialog launcher on the electrical panel. You can also access the electrical settings from the Manage ribbon in the Settings panel by expanding the MEP Settings button and selecting Electrical Settings. In this dialog, the various settings appear in the pane on the left in a tree structure. When you select a setting on the left, the available options populate in the pane on the right. I'll select Wiring. In the wiring settings, you can specify the ambient temperature and the gap of wiring crossing. Then, the hot wire tick mark, ground wire tick mark, and neutral wire tick mark can be set to circle wire tick mark, hook wire tick mark, long wire tick mark, or short wire tick mark. Next, you can choose yes or no for the slanted line across tick marks setting. For when to show tick marks, you can select Always, Never, or Home Runs. Lastly, you can specify the maximum voltage drop for branch circuit wire sizing and the maximum voltage drop for feeder circuit wire sizing. When you select wire sizes, you can see information on the wire types available. The wire types are based on material, temperature ratings, and insulation type. Each combination of material, temperature rating, and insulation type is associated with a separate table of wire sizes. The default values cannot be modified. However, you can add a new material, temperature, or insulation type based on the default, and a new table of sizes will be created. You can also delete any of these. The table lists the ampacity, size, and diameter. The size is AWG, or American Wire Gauge. Realize that you can create a new ampacity or delete an existing ampacity. You can also choose whether or not the size will be used by sizing. When selected, that wire size is made available for use in circuits where Revit calculates the wire size. When cleared, the size is not available for use with the sizing feature. When you select Correction Factor, you can enter a value for the correction factor at various ambient temperatures. You can select a material and temperature from the available drop-downs in order to view those correction factors. As you can see, you can create a new correction factor or delete a correction factor. When you select ground conductors, you can see the ampacity of wiring used to select the size of ground conductors for Revit. You can switch the material from the drop-down at the top. You can also create a new ampacity or delete an ampacity. When you select wiring types, the pane on the right shows a table listing the wire types that can be used in the project. You can add or remove wire types as needed. Wire types are defined by a material, temperature rating, insulation, max size, neutral multiplier, whether or not neutral is required, the neutral size, and conduit type. The material can be copper or aluminum. For the temperature rating, insulation, and max size, you can click in the field and expand the drop-down to select one of the available options. Then you can specify any positive number for the neutral multiplier and choose whether or not neutral is required. The available options for the neutral size are hot conductor size and unbalanced current. And the options for conduit type are steel and non-magnetic.